love plus art equals wellness. Heart Happy Hour Season 5. Precious Mother Love. I am on the highway. I haven't done a live traveling video in a long time. I got a lot to catch up on in the middle of the highway. Look, let me get it straight. Let me fix my wig. There's been a lot going on, lots of blessings. That gateway thing is no joke. You got to be careful. It is very, very, very. I have been doing. I have another event coming up on August the 17th. I'll tell you about that later on. That's a celebration of Marcus Garvey Day, so we will incorporate some of that into the what's going on. But like I said, tell you more about that later. I am headed to Baltimore. I'm coming from DC. I'm on BW Parkway. I am making my way I'm doing some family stuff. So I got a little bit of gap of highway time and I wanted to use it wisely. So some of the things that have been happening, the Gateway Meditation has opened me up to so many opportunities, so many options, so many of all the good things that I want. You know, when you say, is it possible to have too much of a good thing? Well, and you know how they say, be careful, but be careful for what you ask for so that you be ready. So now I need to hire people, interns or whatever, maybe some tips or some of those virtual assistants. I'm telling you, things are really, really picking up. And to the point where all my years of experience in every lane that I've had going on, that I'm highly blessed in, meditations, I'm doing my mantras. I even made meditation tapes. And I say meditation, but the music is soothing, but I'm reading my mantras. I'm telling myself, in I sing-songy ways, sometimes with various inflections similar to other songs that have the energy that I know that I want to line up with, even though my words are different from the words that they may have said for their song. Like the da 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 da. That's a song of gifts. Now, I don't know what the energy of the music means. I probably should look into it a little further, but that was what I was trying to line up with, which is, folks are expecting gifts at that time. I'm expecting gifts. I know I got gifts coming and gifts going and gifts moving all around me. I'm sharing my gifts, my talents, my skills. That's how I eat. I eat off my skills. I eat off my talents. Since 5 years old, I've been an entrepreneur. First thing I sold as a 5-year-old was a rock, a big, pretty rock on the side of the road, a major road at the time. But yeah, so I'm back selling pretty rocks, right? Copper and stone, but I'm the sacred science, the sacred math, the sacred energy, the sacred geometry. I'm the sacred arts curator. Precious Mother Love didn't name myself that. None of those names. I was named. None of the names did I name for myself, but the government has one name and God gave me another. And when God gave it to me, I was actually doing what I'm doing now, which was on the highway driving, buddy. I'm trying to tell you, things are like lining up because I'm looking at how things have happened over the years and how I have actually started some grooves and some lanes and channels of all my talents. I've been doing photography since, there was a jet photographer named John Payne that gave me my first lessons in darkroom, photography development, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I know it's a lot of stuff that I'm saying all at one time, but I'm just saying I've been doing all these things, full moon events, meditation since I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, where my gym teacher taught me, she actually had us lay back on the ground and look up at the sky and meditate, and we would squeeze this part of our body and then we'd release it and we were doing the breathing, But anyway, so over the years, I have now developed, I've got some real hot breath topics that I want to talk about. I also want to talk about the pineal gland. I also want to talk about these planets that are lining up, right? We just, between Mother's Day and Father's Day, which are all pretty close to a full moon, but just to say between those two, Mother's Day and Father's Day, have been calling a lot of planets into alignment. And it's a lot of stuff that's going on up in the big, the great beyond, up in the heavens, up in the celestials, in the ethers. There's a lot that's going on with, apparently there's another comet that's coming by. It's supposedly like Halley's Comet. It hasn't been seen in 69 years. And where are these freaking cicadas? The cicadas were supposed to be here, they said the end of May or whatever, and it's June, and I see or hear none of what they said was supposed to be here. Some big swarm, some big, plague sort of thing. I don't know. But yeah, so I got a bunch of stuff that I wanted to chit chat about. Let me look at my notes. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the planet. Okay. I did just talk about the planetary parade that's going on, the sixth or seventh, well, was it six? I think it was six this year. Planets. And every time I read these little, I gotta watch where I'm going because I'm looking at the GPS. I'm actually at the Gateway in Baltimore right now, coming off BW Parkway, coming in by the Horseshoe Casino. So, but anyway, so yeah, the planetary parade is going on. And every year, some version of the same thing happens. I called it a family reunion last year or the year before when I talked about it, because I think this is around the time that the planets begin to line up and synchronize with each other, which also could be related to not just the full moon. Well, the full moon is related to the solstice, but I was going to relate it to, from spring to the solstice. That's the kind of timeline that these planets begin to start to line up and, like I said, have a family reunion. And speaking of family, the planet, and I know I want to be talking to y'all and finding out what's going on in there. I am listening you, man. Listening to me? Oh, okay. I hope that's what you meant when you said listening. But listening? Okay, yeah, because let me say this planetary parade, this time last year, I called it a family reunion because I'm also relating the planets to being similar to, having some humanistic or we having some planetary characteristics or personality traits, So I'm saying that, the earth has blood. It has that, it breathes, it's got energy lines, it's got these, energy in motion, things happening, it has a mood. I even said when the solar eclipse happened that it was in response to, because the sun and the moon, they both play this thing on each other. and I think it's the earth being in the middle in some cases. But anyway, so the earth got mad because the lunar eclipsed its sun, the moon eclipsed its sun. Okay, so then they start playing with each other. Maybe this is the kind of games that they play. But it changes the energy of the earth. The earth is actually responding to all these planets are, I even said I now pay more attention to the retrogrades. And um here is the casino. I'm just coming in, and that's what the deal is. I'm at the light. What's going on? Did it go away? I did near okay. You can see me. You can see. I hope you saw that. So we're going by the horseshoe, and somebody wrote me a whole bunch of something. In ancient times, humans created religions so that people, fe- So that people fear someone or to limit human powers, blah, blah, blah. I can't read that now because I'm about to go and the light is green. But I get that. I get that. Everybody has their own way to the top. You know, we all have our own timeline, times for us to awaken. And these are people who are not people. These energies are being manipulated into meaning other things to us and for us, on our relationship with the creator and whatever we call the creator, and on how we get there. Like, I believe everybody has a mission, and I am on my mission. I really feel like I'm on my mission. Let me see, what street am I turning on? I'm turning on Pratt Street. I actually don't want to miss my exits, so I might say a street here and there, or have to look up and really tune into my GPS. And I can move on over here. So yeah, I get that, we're being limited by what we have not expanded our mind to receive. So I'm going to allow that to be my segue to my next topic, which I wanted to talk about. Well, I mean, I talked about the earth breathing and how I likened it to a plant. No, I didn't tell you that part. I liken the earth to a plant. And they add that E to it because now it's got the energy in motion, and it actually is in motion and suspended in energy. So perhaps the plant becomes a planet when it is a self-sustaining unit. It's planted in the energy of the ethers. It's suspended in I was going to say the liquid, the mixture of whatever the ethers is made of, okay? Gases. So the gases or air, that reminds me of Black Magic 363 had the Black Airbender in there the other day. And so, yeah, I want to segue into what I wanted to talk about on the breath. So the breath, okay, I'm about to turn in 3 blocks. 5 blocks, okay, point 0.5. In DC talk, that's a block because we know 12 of those is a mile. Or is it 10 of those? 10 of those or 12 of those? I think it's 12 of those. So 12 blocks in a mile. Don't quote me on that because I, for some reason, have not committed, haven't had to say it out loud in a long time, so it's gotten muffled up in some of my memory banks. But any case, so the planet, once it's suspended in that energy and it is in motion as a self-sustaining or self-containing, like, we have air plants where you just put things in there that allow it to grow without being in dirt per se, or soil, or earth. But any case, yeah, so I'm saying that and I consider us walking plants, growing the photosynthesis or whatever, the sunlight not the transformation, the alchemy. How about that? Let's use that word, the alchemy of what is transmuted into and through us, through the waves or the rays or the energy that we receive from the soleil, from the sun, from SOL in other languages. To me, what it sounds like is what it is. Or they're setting up for a market right here. Okay, what they doing today at the market over this way? By the Orioles Stadium. Oh, there it is. Y'all see that? That's the Orioles Stadium right there. I'm on Camden Street, and I think I'm about to turn. Yup. I'm about to turn. So, any case, guys, thanks for hanging in there with me. You see, I am on the road. I usually don't like to do this when I'm in the city. I don't know how much more this is going to be in the city, but I want to send some shout outs to my Heart Happy Hour family, season 5. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Hey, guys, can you share, like, and subscribe? If you haven't done that before, please share, like, or subscribe. a couple of quick things if I can remember just before I go. Man, this girl looks like she is sane. She's dressed well, she's pretty, but she looked like something wrong with her. Like she talking to other people. She don't have no earphones on. She don't have nothing in her ears. I don't know if you see her or not, but she is yelling to the white people. She's saying, "Go home." And oh my God, she is really into the energy. She is playing an energy game. She's bouncing that energy back and forth, and clapping her hands, shaking her hands, swinging her hands. I know a lot about mental health and mental wellness, and that is something that I did want to graze that subject very briefly. I don't know if this will be the day that I do that, but that is a subject I need to delve into a little bit more because there's some things that have been happening around me that have been involving people who are not as balanced as well, I don't know. There's no average balance, I'm just saying that they are off kilter. They're not necessarily totally off their rockers. They might be missing a few marbles, but I'm saying I'm dealing with some folks that are really, you know, to be in this circle, to be in the sacred energy circle that I have around me. And there are people that come and go. They don't all stay some for only a season. But the thing that I wanted to speak on as far as this group of people that I've been, they're very generous and they've got a lot going on. They're really into the spirit. They want the spirit. They want to speak on and have and be involved in and promote and encourage larger audiences to recognize their own connection to the energy and the spirit. And I there's so many words that we don't say that mean, when we say it, it means so many different things to different people. So I don't know if I'm always getting the right word when I'm trying to say that elevate your energy, elevate to new levels. These people that I'm speaking to in the most recent future, like in the past year, up until now, I have been coming across some people that they really, really, really into doing some things to elevate their spirit to that God mind, to that God sense, to tune into that God frequency. That they are like this one young lady who used to live with me. Every time she did, when she got into her tarot, the more she got into her cards, the more she was pushed off her, she was off kilter. She would get beside herself. She would just, something about the rocking, so anyway, I see that there's some more comments and I thank you guys for being here with me. I'm going to see how much more I can get milk out of this conversation before it gets too dangerous, right? And then I'll read the comments at the end if I get a chance to do that. So really, really thank you for marking that space and making those comments. And any of you folks that aren't in the good headspace as far as wanting for us to learn together the science of self, any bad energy, woo woo on you and poo poo boo hoo, because you can't stick around but so long, because my shit lasts forever. But anyway, I'm just playing, you guys. Thanks for being here with me. I don't know what made me say those words, but maybe it's just a funny haha lol kind of thing. So I've been meeting a lot of folks that have not been in their right mind. How about that? I don't know what's right or wrong, and I can't always be the one that says what's right or wrong. But because I am seeing that more and more, I recognize more and more signs and symptoms of what it looks like and what variations and what ways that it could be. I mean, I know I sometimes get very, very close. I might even tip over the line. I might even be, very recognizable in some of my times, some of my energetic expressions. But all I'm saying is that I'm trying to be to give some grace to those who go over the line and those who push themselves to continue to try to elevate, even though while those things are happening, there may be a little extra pressure in some places where they're not as capable of holding it together. But I want to wish them and myself all the best and all the blessed during that time, because it is a delicate balance, because the gateway takes you to the place where you're recognizing the signs and the symptoms of the energetic planetary game that we play, the words, the sounds, the letters, the visuals, the sigils, the signs, the symptoms, whatever else that, other ways that the energies show themselves, the numbers, the signs, the astrological. Even though our astrological, I think it's 13 signs, not 12. I think it's 13 months, not 12. We base our salary pay on how many months it is or whatever, and we have these extra weeks that that we have, that we put them together. When you put it all together at the end of the year, it's really 13 months. So the way it's divided and the way it's devised, it's kind of like it's, why do we have two systems, the tropic and, is it no, whatever, why do we have these conflicting, these time changes, these things that are energetically, they are things that we are affected by, the phases of the moon, we're affected by these things, and or or are we? It's a yes and a no, because can I trust anything that these people say? Is the earth flat? Is it round? Is it a sphere? Is it a football? Is it a turtle? Huh? Is there a dome, a globe, over the, I mean, I don't know any of that. All I know is I'm starting to sense more and more energies, and my sensitivities have improved. I mean, yeah, improved, increased, and with my wisdom and with me being able to hone in on certain things. Yes, my perspective is shifted in some ways by the things that I learned as a child, how to see those things, now, the things that I might have been taught about the Bible, which I questioned the whole time. The things that I might have been taught about, oh, I'm supposed to be turning soon. I think this is, here we go. Come on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is right. Okay. So, I'm affected by more things now than ever, as far as energetically, as far as my sensitivities, as far as my feelers. I vibe things a lot quicker. I sense things, and we had a conversation this weekend on Soulful Sunday, which, thank you to Master Shep, High Priest Master Shep over at the Temple Mother Earth. That is the place that what's his name? Yeah, Unc Aura was there recently, and I met him down in Atlanta when I went to what was that? Melanin Mondays with Red and Blue Pill. But the first time I went, because I went earlier this year, the first time Red held it down by himself, and then the second time I came back, Blue and Red Pills were together, the brothers, the twins, the towers, the 44s, whatever their whole, so I got to know those fellas and met some wonderful, fabulous, marvelous fellas down there as well in that group. Like I said, Aura was one of the folks that I met down there. Oh my gosh, that my first trip was like magic. Not like magic. It was, I could do magic. I went down there with that in my brain the whole time. So it was nothing but magic happening, right? But anyway, am I going to be able to get back to where I was from where I diverged off from into? Okay, so we were talking about planets. I was getting to the brother that I saw on the black airbender that I saw on the other night. I think it was Monday night. And so he released some things about breathing that was very similar to some stuff that I had encountered and that I've been sharing, and putting some of his pieces together with some of my pieces. And I'm so sorry that, I decided to continue with all the bumpity noises in the city. I forgot how many potholes and how many messed up streets there are in inner city living. So pardon me for all the bumpity bumps. I'll say that in advance because it's about to get bumpy. Yeah. So in the meantime, so brother Black Airbender said some things that triggered some things. that, and when I say trigger, it connected some dots for me, so for some things. Because I remember I was telling y'all about that snoring, is to me like a language. I have been able to read things about it being something of a spiritual conversation that I was having with the person that was doing the snoring. I was able to ask them questions and receive responses back, and also I never initiated the contact in the first place, as far as for them to for me to recognize. It's almost like when I first recognized what Pig Latin was. It's almost like when I first recognized what I think is called double Dutch, which is that genre, that hustle, that street language that OGs speak. It's almost like, I'm listening to a language that I really had never recognized before. And once I recognized what the twist was, I was able to actually interpret it. And in fact, begin to realize that it is a language. So that to me is something that he spoke about, was about internal breathing. Right? So this truck is like on my hind part. It's a AAA service truck. You know what? I'm gonna let Honey Bun get on around me, cause Honey Bun, guess what? Oh, it ain't AAA. It's A to Z. A to Z, huh, baby? Let that man that was on my high pocket off my high pocket. Thank you, thank you. He was riding my honey. Okay, so anyway, so this internal breathing thing that he was talking about, when he started talking about internal breathing, and I know we talking about snoring, well, when he's talking about that breath, when it comes in, okay, so your lungs have a certain capacity, but that air, or that energy, or and prana or pranayama or whatever, that actually begins to be transmuted within your physical. Of course, it's some of the first, not like the first blood going to the heart, but some of the first air. It does fill the lungs, but then it actually expands beyond the lungs and is transported. Ooh, I hear a bunch of stuff in the background. Oh, that's a terrible sound. I did apologize, right? Okay, I'm sorry. So for a second, I'm gonna pull over and wrap this up, okay? Because but I do have somebody waiting for me. Okay, I think I'm going to pull over and just snip and clip this piece right here, because there's no way that I'm going to allow myself to keep going and think that it sounds all right. You're jumping and bumping and clinking and clanking all in the back. Then that means I can also read what's going on here. So what I was saying about his internal breath thing is that my snoring language, and him saying that you take it in, and I know that when we take in, that he's saying that when you take it in, you intend it to, or you just kind of follow that, the logic of where it goes and how it goes, and kind of send it through and energize it. And that's the way that I end up healing bones and whatever it is that I have, as any kind of, if anything catches me, or if I catch up to something, I don't catch it most times. But if I see some signs and symptoms of something that's trying to settle, then I see it out. It's like, I have to, if something in me opened the door to that opportunity, then I begin to show it out, show it the door, this is the way out. And then I also instruct my energy. Okay. And he's, if he's saying it through the breath, then I'm connecting my breath to the energy, to the prana, to the pranayama. So if those two are connected, if our breathing internally, through the internal, because it sounded like, I just heard a song that they had one of those sonic tuner things on, auto tune or whatever was on. And the way that it sounded like it's talking like inside like that. Ooh, I just was able to just bust out with that. Well, I like to sometimes talk inside because I think there's something to it. Ooh, don't that look? Oh, I'm just saying. I know it looks cuckoo and it sounds cuckoo, but those are things we haven't really explored. Like what happens? There is a science to how the breath comes in. It's a science to our breathing. Let me calm down. There's a science to our breathing. And you can't just discard the fact of there is something being said to the body, interpreted by the body, and it as you breathe in. So if the vocals or the vortex or the vocal cords are able to, intend energy on its way out, then what about the energy that it is intended, or is it available for us to use on the way in? Is it part of an equation that we just never had that part of? We never knew there was a vacancy or a potential for, like, what can we put in that? Can we utilize that space? Is that also some real estate that we need to take control over, some energy within us that we are not as clear about? Or, is it just me? Because I'm seeing some potential in this. And when he started talking about the internal breath, it lined up with my snore, and it lined up with a bunch of other stuff, about Mother Earth. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to wrap this up, folks. I'm glad I had a few extra moments to take some time to go with giving you all of this good stuff. Last thing, because I talked about the Gateway Meditation event that's coming up in celebration of Marcus Garvey on August 17th. I will post the flyer on here. It's another one of my full moon events. Expect all the bells and all the whistles, a game truck. There will be a porta potty. It is outdoors in the John P. Davies Amphitheater in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, the DMV. Hit your girl up, Precious Mother Love. Look it up on Love+Art equals wellness on any of our platforms. I'm about to post the flyer. But I also want to speak on, because I will be doing the Gateway Meditation, 5 words of supernatural wellness. That's something I'll tell you more about next time. Sacred Arts curator, Precious Mother Love. Thank you for joining me. I think there was, oh man, there was one thing I really wanted to talk about. There was something else I just saw on here that I really wanted to talk about. Jiminy Cricket. Oh, the pineal gland system. All right, I can talk about that and keep going. Oh no, I need to see what's going on here. What's going on here? What you guys talking about? Are you on a you know what? I love resembling that remark, M.I. Tina Turner. Oh, I swear I was going to say, well, there's something on my mind. Can somebody please tell me why? Dun, 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 dun. You're such a fool. You know you in love. Hey, 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 hey. Okay. I mean, if I was not in the car, I could dance and move my body and actually get into it. So yeah, sometimes I will find myself in a Tina Turner mood. Used to didn't like her, found out more about my connection to her, and recognized since my grandfather was Ike Tina Turner's manager until he died, and Tina Turner said the eulogy. I can be kindred to that remark. I did spend some time around her. Didn't like her because my voice sounded a little like her, or enough like her that I didn't like it. But anyway, past that now. So let me continue on my way and talk about the pineal gland and head my honey right on through Baltimore. I am, how far am I away from where I'm going? I'm due there in about a half an hour. So this is the thing about the pineal gland. Let me tell you, I've been telling y'all a little bit about pieces and snips of it. Speaking of snips, I did talk about that. I think that there is some spiritual real estate in a circumcision. Yes, I'm tying all this in here because I'm tired of being able to. I have so many times when I want to do a heart happy hour and be real gun ho about all these little things that are downloaded to me. I'm telling you, that's some spiritual real estate. So let me move on to the pineal gland, because that's all about the spirit, right? So the wisdom teeth, right? Why would we remove those? Well, there was a big push on it, right? There is also this fluoride thing that is really making your whole, that they say it's for your teeth, blah, blah, blah. But it's really for, okay, let's make sure. Can I see this? Okay, East Fayette straight. Okay, in 2 corners I'll be turning. Okay, so just to say that the wisdom teeth are they were under attack for a while. Now it's just like a norm that people is. I think what I was told, what I remember being told as a child, and this is me being told this as a child. That's something I came up with, but that they wanted us to evolve to the place of not having wisdom teeth, and that I did have an uncle that was a dentist until he passed, and he didn't tell me that, but I paid attention to things that, um, wisdom teeth. I didn't feel that they should be removed. They were recommended to be removed. And, whatever the case is, let's move on so it's the wisdom teeth, it's the tonsil system, it is the appendix, and I say tonsil system, but the tonsils, to me, these are things that they're considered, what do you call those, they are part of our immune system. These are glands that are sifting things out of of us, and accepting certain, converting or transforming certain things into certain energetic responses within our body, right? So in my mind, and I read this. There's something about the wisdom teeth. I did read this. I did do some research on where I found I'm right in front of a ginkgo biloba tree. Isn't that wonderful? This is a ginkgo biloba tree right next to McDonald's. So the ginkgo biloba tree is to make somebody smart in this area. And guess what's in this area? In this area is the what you call it? The whole stroll. This is where the chickadees, cluck around in the yard and try to get some, kick the bobo. The dancers and the strollers all are in this immediate area. So who they trying to make smart? Who planted that ginkgo biloba tree there? I see them near a lot of universities and on university campuses and things like that. But in any case, so back to the pineal gland. So the pineal gland, has a so let's just say this: the wisdom teeth, the tonsils, the appendix, and it was one more. It's one more. It's one more. And the pineal gland is a part of the glandular system for your immunity, but also to tune into certain energies, or to your spirit, or to the to your super sensitivities, to your tuned in to your super sensitivities. These are like the they've been overloaded with uh some sort of, we're under chemical warfare, right? So these are adjusting us, like as if, I think we there was a saying at some point, God don't make junk, and trash, or consider yourself great, and what is it, something, and wonderfully made by God. So why would he have us to remove these things, and we're polluting them with what we're putting in our food? So the glands get polluted. We're snipping the tip, and we're pulling these wisdom teeth. Okay, all right. I know. See, I knew where I was going, because I didn't have to follow the GPS when I had put it in. I used to live right here where this area is that I'm going to. I lived in Baltimore. Well, a couple of years while I was in college, went to Towson, and a couple of years when I was helping expand new branch offices of the business my mom and I have had, over the last 20 some years, a national business, staffing, temporary and permanent placement, Podge Business Staffing. Anyway, still operating, but I retired as vice president, not president. I was vice president. My mom was president. Did a lot of business with some major corporations. Got a lot of magic out of that carpet ride. But any case, so the pineal gland system, I'm going to look further into it and talk more about it. Why don't I do that? Because I, I, I know I jumped all over the road, and I hope I connected enough of the dots for us. And I don't like the fact that I've still got all this noise on the thing. So why don't I just say one love and wellness, love plus art equals wellness. I will. I thank everybody for their comments, and like, share, and subscribe. Heart Happy Hour Season 5, Precious Mother Love, Love plus Art equals wellness. None of my music on the way out. I got caught in the light, right? Okay, so why don't I try to look at some of these? Let me see. You want somebody to pass away? People pass away all the time, every day. I look forward to my day and my time. At some point, I will be in non physical form, and I'll just be free. Tina Turner, cool. What is this? Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Elton John, how are you? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Da da dee dee da da dee dee dee. You're not even reading the chats. Oh, yes, I am. Now I am. Religion indirectly puts you in a race. Yes, it does. You believe it or not. Believe it or not. Yes, I do. I believe that. It does. Okay, green light. Must go. Ashe. One love. And wellness. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Thanks for joining me on the ride. Peace.